Why is mine not 4 years?
Well, it depends on the degree program. How long is yours?
29 months.
And mine might have been that. It might have been that.
But mine. You gotta drink that liquid death. That's what happens.
That's
your
why
vocal cords
that's
die.
Why it happens.
No, it's dry.
That's why it happens.
Me. See, that's the liquid death. That is. Quenched my thirst, killed that.
Yeah,
This headset mic is making me act a little different.
Traveling these places, I've noticed that there is a cultural difference when it comes to the idea of creative. Welcome to C2C Podcast, where we touch on and break down elements of creativity in its many forms. I am your host, Darius Murphy, and we have our co-host with us,
Isaiah Curry here, trying to get a sponsor from Liquid Death because it's favorite water company, period. I love the branding, love the taste.
Yes, sir. Well, I am opposed to that. I'm on this side. Clearly, y'all see my attempt at getting the sponsorship right here. Fiji, if you're looking for a sponsor, I don't know if y'all do it, but I'm down with it. If y'all are trying to find a face for it, I'm down. So, nope, we're back with another episode. We basically finished our first. We basically finished our first. I don't even know if that was French. It
wasn't English.
Definitely wasn't English.
Oh,
but we basically finished our first episode, putting the content together and seeing how everything is, and so we're super excited for this podcast. And so yeah, but we touched on elements of creativity. Music, screenwriting, the writing process in general. We even compared rappers to singers. We've just done a whole bunch of stuff on this podcast. And so we plan on keeping this going. And you guys, as we keep this thing going, you guys will have the opportunity to, is that me?
That's me.
Come on, man.
That's me.
You guys will have the opportunity to, no phones. That's what we're going to end up doing. No, not a chance. Is that real? That's real. Okay. I'll talk to you guys. Up? That's not real. No way that's real. Is that? Why'd you slide off the camera? Like we still see your elbow. Right in the middle of the podcast right now. But yeah, no, you guys will have the opportunity. Hopefully, he is not a distraction. But we'll get into the chance, or you guys will have the opportunity to be able to comment what topics you want us to hit in the areas of creativity. And so we're excited to get into that type of stuff. Are you done with your conversation?
They didn't even know I was gone.
They absolutely knew you were gone.
No.
Y'all absolutely knew he was gone.
No, you couldn't even. I've been here the whole time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyways, let's talk about your graduation.
Yes, sir.
Bachelor's in digital cinematography and videography and
no, bachelor's
and camcord stuff.
Bachelor's of science degree in digital cinematography.
Yeah, it's a whole mouthful.
Not really, but yeah.
How long have you been working on that?
4 years now. I mean, obviously, clearly, just graduated, and it's been a roller coaster. Yes, I think that'd be the best way to describe that.
You gotta let the people know where you graduated from.
So I graduated from the
greatest. You ain't even wearing that hoodie.
The greatest. Oh, I should be. Hey, I brought a sweater, just in case I wanted to put it on. You know how it'd be inside the office. And so, but it's a Full Sail hoodie. I got it when I graduated. But yeah, no. Graduated from Full Sail. It's been a process. A lot of ups and downs throughout school. Not the school itself. I absolutely love the school, the program.
Life.
Yeah, life. The life is what makes it go, up and down. Especially going online. And people think that online students are, they have it easy, but in my opinion, I've been in both. I started going to college at ORU for the same thing. Obviously, it wasn't digital cinematography; it was videography. From ORU, it was called like media something though.
Something that just didn't cover everything.
Yeah, it was just very basic,
generic.
It's the generic over.
That's that great value college.
Yeah, well, I love ORU too, just because of what it is.
I meant great value, like,
but content
in a good way.
Yeah. But as far as what I was looking for personally, ORU didn't fit where I felt like I fit in, and so through couple years. That was back in 2013. But through a few years of me working photography places, starting my own company, doing my own thing, I really felt like I wanted to get back into school and learn more into my passion type of thing. So went to Full Sail, started that process, didn't know how it was going to be. And I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing.
How long were you there?
I was at Full Sail?
Yeah.
I was there for 4 years.
It was 4 years?
Yeah.
So why is mine not 4 years?
Well, it depends on the degree program. How long is yours?
29 months.
And mine might have been that. It might have been that.
But mine. You gotta drink that liquid death. That's what happens.
That's
your
why
vocal cords
that's
die.
Why it happens.
No, it's dry.
That's why it happens.
Me. See, that's the liquid death. That is. Quenched my thirst, killed that.
Yikes. Fiji.
But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, no, 29 months it's only 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So if yours was 4 years.
No, mine was definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder why.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the degree program. I have no clue. I mean, I'm not in the.
Interesting.
What are you going to school for? The audio
production. Bachelor's in audio production with the. How do you say the whole thing? It's like saying a street address. A street address.
It literally is like saying what?
Address.
So
address.
yours is.
Which one is
Address.
That's what I'm saying.
Address. I think whenever you focus on the word, it's just nothing sounds right.
It's definitely address.
Okay.
Like, I'll add address to the cart.
Right.
All right. So the street address.
What is it? Audio production?
Yeah. Audio production.
So bachelor's degree in audio production.
Bachelor's of Science in audio production?
Yeah, 100%. That's how you say it.
Okay. Yeah, so February 2025, your boy's going to be a graduate also at Full Sail.
Yes, sir.
But before we get to that, let's get back to you. What were some ups, downs, pros, cons?
Okay, so.
Loves, hates. You got to cover all of them.
Again,
rounds.
I absolutely loved Full Sail. I love what they had to offer, especially for their online students. I really hate that the on-campus students didn't get the degree of what we got as far as equipment. Like, because, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like a trade. It was kind of like a trade. So, like, if you're on campus, you get the whole experience of being like on a set, on the like working the equipment with actual directors.
And they got a whole back lot there.
Yeah, and they have a whole. It's I just got chills. They have a whole thing, just specifically for, and it's all professional stuff. It's not like a school that set up a room for you to work out of. It's like an actual set. You know, you actually get to work with all these people that have actually worked on high-end projects. And then you switch over to the online and you obviously miss all that, because you're remote, you're working from wherever you are. So yeah, that's definitely, I guess, a pro con type of thing, with the school in itself. The on-campus students don't get the equipment. I got a full-fledged film.
That is nuts
thing. Yeah. So I got the camera, I got the light set, I got the, audio. And then on top of that, I got the software for editing. I got a laptop. I got the iPads.
They get nothing.
Yeah, and they get. I mean, from my understanding, they get none of it. Now they might get the laptop and the iPad. I'm not 100% on that, but I do know for sure the online students get all the stuff in their lunchbox, and so that's a huge plus that I love about Full Sail, especially the online. Like, they don't neglect the online students, and then on top of that, which I'm sure it is with any school, I got to graduate with the on-campus students. So we packed ourselves up from Oklahoma, drove all the way to Florida, took a group of us out there, celebrated, and then got to come back. But I really appreciated them for that whole experience. And it wasn't like these are the online students and this is the on-campus students. It was, everybody was merged in together and we all graduated together. So I really appreciated that. So that was definitely a pro to it. And then another thing, and then you get into the actual content of like learning, which I really appreciate also. These aren't just regular people that love, I mean, which is in any school, you know, if you're an instructor, hopefully you love what you're doing and you're not just there to kind of
Yeah.
Get a check.
Is there a difference between instructor and professor, or same?
I think it's same.
Okay, continue. Sorry,
but
I'm ignorant. I don't know.
I don't know. But you better get to know.
I'll learn when I have to.
But yeah, no. So you get the full experience. You don't get just the instructors that you love or that just love to do what they're doing. It's a passion behind what they're doing, and they want other people. They have the same heart that I had,
and they're professionals.
Yeah, and they're professionals working in that field.
Yeah.
And so it's not just, like I said, it's not just I'm here to get a check type of thing. It's like no, I'm passionate. And like where I say they have the same heart as me is I want to see people grow and develop. And so whatever I know, whatever I have the capability of teaching, I want to teach others to do that. I don't have the mindset of, oh, this is a dog eat dog world and you got to get it on your own and you got to go out there and try to find your lane. Like, no, I'm going to help you the whole way. Like, I'm going to help you from point A to point, whatever points you want to get to, whether that's C or all the way down to Z. Like, I'm going to help you get to that point if I can, if I have it in my ability. And that's how they are there. And so I graduated in July or the beginning of July, and I'm still getting messages from Full Sail on career development and stuff like that. Like, they want to see their students succeed. And so that's a huge plus.
Yeah. Did you touch on the networking side?
Oh, that's another plus too, which I really appreciate about Full Sail. Like I said, obviously on campus you get to see your fellow students and your peers, your instructors and stuff like that, and you get to actually network and meet and talk. And going online has basically been the same for me at Full Sail. You get to network, you get to talk with all these people, and that's one of the biggest. Me personally, that's one of my biggest pluses with going to Full Sail.
Was the networking.
I got to connect with all kinds of students who offered job opportunities after our graduation. Had a huge job opportunity after literally the day I graduated.
Yeah, walked off the stage, went outside the doors, got a job.
Literally walked off the stage, went out into the commons area, took pictures with my family, and immediately someone came up to me and said, "Hey, this," and I was like, "Definitely, I'm down." And so
that's wild.
Yeah, so definitely it's a plus. Networking is a huge plus. One downfall. It's not even a downfall. It's not even a con. It's just growing up type of thing. Like, one of the biggest cons I would say would be the time management. Like, if you don't know your schedule and you don't know the time that you're going to be putting into these assignments, which I appreciated also. It's a pro con type of thing for me. It's up in the air because it's like, it can be a con, but it's definitely a pro.
Like, working 40 hours while doing that is going to be hard.
So you have to map out your schedule. Yeah. You have to block out your time. You have to know your time. There's a book that I was reading, or that I got referred to, and a man that I walk with, he referred me to a book, and it said, if you are not over your time, if you don't master your time will master you. And so this going to Full Sail kind of put that in a real life situation for me, because at first obviously everyone starts school, you're super excited. You're making A's in every class first couple months. And then obviously life stuff comes up.
Right.
And you're just basically like running all over the place and you don't know what to do. But it put it in real life perspective for me, because now I don't have that ability. I don't have that wiggle room to be like, oh, I can't do this because I do have a big project due on this day, and that date's not moving and time's only going forward. And so if I'm not focused on, no matter what pops up, if I don't have my time scheduled out or things planned in order for me to get what I need done for school and life, then that's when things start getting kind of hectic.
Well, so, okay. This is just from my own personal inquiring. Has there or was there a moment where you fell behind just because of life? And then what was like Full Sail's response to that? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
How did they Yeah.
So a pro to this, to go into Full Sail, like I said, I don't know how any other school is online, but a pro to Full Sail is they understand that aspect of everyone has a life.
Full Sail online or
online? Like I said, I can't speak for anything that I have not touched on. So Full Sail online, those instructors understand, and they've come to my rescue a number of times where I do have a huge project due. And then, but I will say the biggest thing that I will tell anybody, especially online, is way more crucial for the online student. Obviously, it's crucial in general, but I would say more so for the online student because you're not face-to-face with your instructor. They can't see what's going on, and there's no excuse.
What's more crucial? Communication?
Communication is the most crucial part because, and I tell my wife this all the time, she's currently going to ORU online, and whenever she gets behind, it kind of gets, I mean, she's the type of person that everything has to be in order, and if it's not in order, everything's out the window. Like there's no like, it's straight panic mode. Mm-hmm. And one thing I always tell her is like, hey, just calm down and communicate. You don't know the situation yet. So until it gets to a point to where there's absolutely no going back, there's absolutely nothing that can, be done. There should be nothing rising up inside of you saying, I gotta panic. And so going back to what Full Sail, like communication was key for me online. And so if ever life situations happened, which they did on a number of occasions, I would simply communicate. I'd be like, hey, I can't, there's absolutely no way that, there was a death in our family at one point, and I said, hey, we're traveling to go to this funeral, or we're preparing for this thing over here, and there's absolutely no way I can turn in this assignment on time. And majority of the time, now you will have instructors that will be like, no, I need it on time. And with those, you just kind of got to work and just be like, okay, then what can I do in order? Can I turn it in early? Can I turn it in?
Like I send you $100.
Yeah. Can I do something? But no, you do. You talk to those instructors and you're like, hey, what can I do?
You can offer them some liquid death.
No, definitely not. They'll be like, nah.
Hey, don't ever disrespect.
But no, yeah, you just communicate with them and say, hey, this is what's what, and this is what I can do. What can we do? Like, what do you feel like I can do? What do you feel is best in this situation? And then they generally guide you and say, okay, this is the best option for you. Or you have those instructors that are really strict and they're like, nah, but it's only worth 10%, 5% of your grade. So you can take that a 0 for that. And you're just like, you're like, all right, I'll take a B at the end of the class. I'll take a C, whatever.
So, it's not like high school.
No, I will say
because every high school I went to sucked, and I've been to 5 of them.
In what aspects are you saying it's not like high school? Because I believe it can be, and then at the same time there obviously is a total difference. And so where I would say it is different is obviously you're a grown adult, hopefully.
Yeah.
And you're going to school. And so you have that responsibility, like your assignments that you have to turn in, your homework that you have to do, the studying that you have to do, and that is kind of left up to you. Now, another thing I like about Full Sail is they give you all the resources, but it's up to you.
So you won't need to look outside of those resources.
Right. You don't necessarily have to. Obviously, do your thing if you want to, dive in deeper. But you
gotta turn that off.
I know. I think we did that last time. But yeah, they give you all the resources. So, in order to pass with a high A, they give you everything you need. Now, for your own personal self, if you want to learn more,
by all means,
do your thing. But yeah, no, they don't leave you out to dry. They're there every step of the way, and if you need to communicate with them to let them know the situation, they're there. Most of them are 100% understanding. Like I said, you'll get those instructors that are just strict because it's like real world type of thing.
I feel it.
It's like, I need you to understand that this is not.
Would that be like the portfolio?
Yeah, classes? The project portfolio classes are just like that. Like, hey, if I need a 5-minute video, I need a 5-minute video. Nothing less, nothing more. Do not send it a minute.
Really?
Or 5 minutes and a second over.
Really?
Yes. they will send the whole thing back to you because it's just
you got to extend the credits a little longer.
I literally I've like made transitions a little bit longer just so that I can hit that 5-minute mark. And then there's been projects to where I'm just like the documentary that I did, I had to cut off a lot of the stuff that I wanted to be in that documentary because I had a time limit or a time frame I had to stay within. And so there's a lot of things like that go into especially the project portfolio things, but which in terms of like real college stuff would be your capstone type of stuff. And so yeah, no, I mean, I have nothing but positives to say.
So there's no cons. None.
I can't think of anything that would be a con that would not have been on me.
I feel that. Okay.
Like, if that makes sense. Like, I could not, if all the stuff that happened in the negative light, like.
So if I don't get an A, B, I can't.
It's on you. Like, they put it, all the blame would be on you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
No, I'm not tripping.
But I love it. I think it helped me grow in the aspect of just my character in general because I had to be on a strict timeline. I had to, like I said, schedule out my time. I had to know where my time was going. And whenever that was out of sync, especially with my life, my home life, and then school, everything was out of the loop. Everything was off.
That's so wild.
So,
but yeah. So for those of y'all that don't know, which is all of y'all, I'm going to Full Sail, like we said earlier, for audio production because I enjoy music. I mean, I have a little hand in the
content creating.
Yeah, but I was gonna say in Remnant.
Oh, right.
But
you gotta make some time. You gotta make some things clear because in that first episode you said.
Oh, was it not clear?
No, you made it clear, but now you're saying that. You have a little part. In the first episode, you were just like, hey, you said you were the...
Yeah, I mean, a lot's happened since then.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot's happened. Whether it be relational or just schedule-wise, I enjoy music to the fullest. I mean, like I said, I have songs written, and so when they're done, I want them to be done correctly. Like with that.
That's why you're doing it.
You know how long it's been? You know how long it's been since I took a sip? Anyways, yeah. No, I want them to be done correctly, but I also want to be able to teach a lot of people or guide a lot of people in like the right direction instead of just going based off of head knowledge or YouTube videos. Forgot why I went on that rant and tangent. Oh, yeah. So I picked audio production over music production, recording arts, and all this other stuff because it also tied with media and games, or it tied with media, games, the business, and like just studio techniques.
So it just touched on every aspect of what you wanted.
Everything. Yeah, in my head, I didn't need a whole lot of business, but the way that they have it done is that if you're doing audio production, you're more so of an independent contractor.
Right. Okay.
And so everything's working around that. So how you present yourself and all this other stuff. But in my head, the stuff that I read and from like what they've said, if you do audio production, you're going to get the most technically sound versus music. Music production is more so the, composition and then building song structure, songwriting and all that. I don't feel like I need that right now. Yeah. Maybe down the line I will for sure. I mean, I'm gonna check every box.
Yeah.
By the time I'm dead, hopefully. That's the goal.
I can see you doing that for sure.
But yeah, so I mean, I could work with Remnant as well as working with C2, as well as maybe down the line I have my own game company.
Yes, sir.
Look out for Gap warfare. They're just shooting teeth at each other.
Literally. If y'all can't tell, his middle tooth fell out.
It fell out. Whatever that means. I don't think I ever had one, if we're being honest.
It's that liquid death, man. Nope.
Gotta take it again. Gotta take it again. Yeah, no, but February 2025. I'm lost. You gotta help me. My brain is fried right now.
This is one of those days in general because I'm not gonna lie.
You're out of it too, huh? Goodness. Anyways, game, media, and anything music. I mean, I'm all for all of them. I've
I literally knew you were about to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about school.
We gotta cut that.
No, we're not cutting nothing. Let me.
I'm in a dark place now.
All right, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your schooling. So what prompted you to go to school? What reason did you have to go to school?
There's a lot. So this is no shot at anyone that we've worked with that has done music.
Right.
But when I work with Remnant, I want to solidify my spot as I am certified in an area. Not I've been around this and done this for a while.
That is,
you know what I mean?
That is a good point. That's a lot of the reason why I went to school. I mean, obviously I wanted to know what I didn't know.
Right.
And that's one of the main things that I always tell everybody, like, and that's a school versus non-school type of debate, but that's a whole nother thing. But the reason I went to school is because number one, I want to know what I don't know. And then number two, when I do gain that knowledge, like you can't, not in an arrogant way, because I know in the first episode you made it seem like I was an arrogant person. But
definitely not.
In the most non-arrogant way that I can say it, if once I know something, you can't tell me. Like that's what I'm saying. It sounds bad. It sounds bad. But I'm saying like in the most literal sense, you can't tell me anything outside of what I know. If I know,
I'll help you reword that.
Yeah, please, because
people trust what you say.
Okay,
because we both understand that I have been in this area.
I've spent this time studying.
Yeah.
In my case, 4 years.
Right.
Outside of my own personal study.
Mm-hmm.
And
an intense study.
Yeah, 100%. Not just
let me gander.
Yeah, not just I'm scrubbing my way on through. Mm-hmm. Literally an intense study in this area. And so whenever I'm saying something, trust what I'm saying. Right. Type of thing.
100%.
And so you can't tell me.
Yeah, no.
No. It's just hard. It's hard. Like for me, I really, really respect. There's two things I really respect. Take it in my field, like a Daniel Schaefer, who started school but is not, or dropped out of school.
Yeah, didn't finish, and he went straight.
But he went straight into the industry. Mm. And so I respect the years that he put in the industry, because I think there's really two ways to learn: is experience and school. Mm. Like, and then the type of experience that you have kind of separates you too. So like where I've done video production by myself in local town, Claremore, Oklahoma, Daniel's gone to California, worked in Hollywood. He's done these things, and he's been on sets, and he's written for high-end places. And so it's just like, I can't argue with you. I can't, even though I've been to school, I can't argue. So I respect you, and my mouth's shut whenever you're speaking, because I understand that there's stuff that I haven't experienced that you've gone through, and there's stuff that I've studied, you've worked through, even though your troubleshooting has been it will probably be a lot more difficult than mine. Mm-hmm. Like you've gone through all that stuff. And so I can't really speak on that. And so I respect you to the degree that, you've either experienced or of your experience or your schooling, or what you like knowledge wise. And so not to discredit anyone else.
I'm so interested to see, because we're all three of us, Darius, Daniel, and I are working on a project right now.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm very curious to see how that dynamic of education and experience, like at what point do they like collide? Yeah. And like, 100%. I don't know. But then like in my head, because I know at least music is like this. You can learn all the techniques or whatever, but there's just something about someone who is experienced,
right,
that can open like a creative door.
That's true.
When it comes to either thinking workflow or, I don't know, adding onto something to make it a better project.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with something like that, so like for this project, like the documentary we're working on, like
another documentary.
Another documentary.
So there's two separate ones, but
this is another one. So specifically with something like this, and I did feel it in the room. Obviously, I'm sure he didn't.
I felt a lot in that room,
did
boy. Oh my God.
But
Audio.
there was a lot there. Me personally, and I'm not speaking for him, but I know me personally, there were moments where I was like, I wouldn't have done it that way, or I wouldn't have had the thought to do it that way, just simply because I know what I've seen. Like as
in
far
a
as
positive way, are you saying that?
Not in a negative way, but not in a positive way. Just in general, it's just like, yeah, we can do that. It's not like let's do that, but it's like, yeah, we can do that'll work. That'll work too. But the direction I was taking it, that would also work. And so it's like
interesting
finding that middle ground type of thing. But like I said, where I respect him, I'm just like, he's been in this thing. And so we did make changes. Like, for example, like the location of the main two people that we're going to be interviewing, like instead of having them on location, having them on just simply behind or in front of a black screen, the black screen or black curtain, whatever.
Did we switch that to the wall?
Yeah, it's going to be the wall.
Okay.
And so, so just stuff like that, like making those adjustments. And then like stuff like that was an aha moment. I was like, I'm thinking way too hard into it. We could just simply do that, and that would work perfectly fine. And then there were some other things I was just like, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, that'll work. Mine'll work too. But then it goes into the thing where I knew this is where I kind of fully submitted to whatever he was saying, and it was in the area of when he was doing he was speaking on the time, and this is the adjustment we need to make, and I was just like, yeah, you're right. If we had 4 months, what I was thinking would have worked. If now that we only have a few weeks.
You're saying how you broke it up?
Yeah. Now that we only have a few weeks, we got to do it this way. And I was
got to do it a different way if you want a good product.
Yeah, I was just like,
a great product.
I like, yeah, I mean, I'm down. I can't argue that. And so yeah, just correlating the experience versus the school type of thing is just kind of is give or take type of thing. Like, you went to school. I respect that, especially if you excelled in it. Now, if you went to school just to go through school, and then like you can't feed anybody like from that, not necessarily like money wise, but like
you just did enough to get by.
Yeah, you can't give anybody any kind of information from the years of study that you've done. Like, what are you doing it for? Like, why waste your time? Why waste your money?
Shoot, even at that, do you even know what you're talking about?
And then that's questionable. And then it's questionable. And I've run into people like that. I mean,
really?
Not to name any names.
We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, not to name any names. But I've run into people like that. I mean, start working on. You're supposed to be collaborating on a project, and terminology's there, but the functionality is not
right.
And so, yeah. And so it's just like, what you're doing does not make sense. Like, you're speaking like you know what you're doing, but
I think it's more confusing to me when the functionality there, but the terminology is off. Because I'm like, especially when it comes to music, because like you could, if you're not in the studio and y'all are talking about a project and you're like, oh yeah, you need to turn this reverb or whatever. I'm like, reverb? I don't have a reverb on. Like, there's a delay maybe.
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, you need to turn the dB up 5 levels. What does that mean? What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I felt it. Yeah, no, that stuff, like, that's really tough. But that's when you get into the experience versus I've been more experienced than school type of thing. That's when you get more into that, because this is like, I know what I'm doing and I know what I want to do. I just don't know the terminology to back it up. Like, I know what I want to hear, but I don't know the terminology to back up what it is. So I can't communicate with the professional that has gone to school, that does know, and that has studied. I can't communicate with them effectively to let them know what it is. So that communication is not seamless. And so that process will be a little bit longer versus the two people that know 100% terminology, functionality.
Yeah, there's no discrepancies.
Yeah, there's nothing that's like, hey, I need a delay when that's actually what they need is the delay. And then it's simply that versus the, hey, I need to, hey, can you turn that reverb down? Like, what? I ain't got no reverb on here.
And then that'd be another thing to like, and I'm still only strictly talking on music. Like if someone with an educated ear came to me and was like, oh, the frequency's at like 8K.
Yeah.
They need to be turned down 3 decibels. I'd be like, okay. Yeah, I trust
exactly.
it. But if someone who's like experienced, I'd be like, okay, I know what you're wanting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with it and see where it needs to go.
Yeah, 100%.
And so that's a whole other thing. But I want to this sounds weird, but it's kind of reality for me. And I mean, I'll work on it, but I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can go to that guy and he knows exactly what he wants, exactly what he's doing.
Right.
He can enhance all this. But I say that with like an asterisk because I don't want no one coming to me.
Yeah.
Like,
why don't you want someone coming to you?
Like if it's a job, that's one thing. But if people are just like everyone's hey, Isaiah, this. Bro, I got my phone on silent literally 24/7. You'll never catch my phone not on silent because
Morgan must be on emergency bypass or something then, because your phone was definitely ringing.
No, when it calls, it only does the ding.
Oh, okay.
Ding. But other than that, I don't hear nothing. I don't get no notifications from nobody. Because I don't like all that. That to me is overwhelming.
Yeah, see, to me, I'm opposite. I would love for my phone to be blowing up. I say that to an extent.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
there's
I
select people.
Yeah. I would love to, because that's who I want. That's who I want to be. I want to be that person that people can go to for information or go to for help in whatever area I can help them in. And so I want to be that person to be like, I don't know how to set up a live stream or a podcast.
Right.
Hit up Darius.
Right.
Hit me up and I'll let you know all the information. Now things start, looking a little bit different whenever it turns into I am just pulling from you type of thing. Like I'm simply here to like basically to where it's all me. It's all my production. So like, for example, if someone,
and I think that's what I was more so pointing to.
Yeah.
Like when I say job, like it'll get to a point where I'm like, all right, no, I'm gonna have to get paid.
Yeah, 100%. Like now we're crossing the line to where it's like paid versus like
it's the difference between giving nuggets and then just giving you a bank.
Yeah, and it honestly it's all about respect in that when it gets down to that. It's like I respect you and your time and I've worked with a lot of people that can't do a lot, but even if they don't give a lot or what I'm worth, like you giving something to me, like, or you acknowledging the point of me, like, hey, this man's done all this. Like, the reason why we're even here at this point is because of this person. And I'm not searching for that, but I'm saying it's a respect thing to a degree. It's just like when it gets to that point of all this has been done, it has to there has to be something in respect of what you spent years doing this, learning on this. So like I want to show my appreciation and respect for you. And I do that with a lot of people that we hire for a lot of our different projects. For example, we did a huge photo shoot at the school, at a local school here. And me and my wife, we took less of the payment out of everybody, out of every single body. And that was a big job. And we paid everybody out more than we did just because we wanted to show them that we really appreciated them and their help. We couldn't have done it without them. That was a bigger project. Yeah. And so you guys take this, and we'll take whatever the heck is left. And that's just our hearts, and that's my heart. And so kind of like what in the conversation we had in there a few nights ago, it's just like I don't look for it to be reciprocated, but at a point, like that's when burnout and stuff comes because it's just like there's no fruit of what I'm doing. There's no fruit in my life from what I'm doing. Obviously, I get to see you prosper, but at the same time, I am in a hole because of this situation, and there's been no regards or respect to what I have done.
Yeah, and
no honor. That's what we'll call it.
I think also, since I'm not in that place yet, I'm only speculating to how I would behave. But I don't know. I also think that if I was like, oh, hey, DLC church.
Yeah.
He just went through college. He has this, and they came to me. I'd be like, yeah, okay. But I think I'd be easy to like hold back if I was met with like not personality clashing, but like if you were like, hey Isaiah, can you come here and do the audio for a podcast? I'd be like, yeah, sure. But all right, so we need to do X, Y, and Z. Need a compressor. Like, yeah, but I don't want a compressor. Okay, well now I don't know.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Why you actually have me here.
Yeah, that's tough. Those are tough situations.
And that's what I imagine. Like if
those are tough situations.
If you give me 20 people and like they all want various things, but like only 5, like number one, 5 are willing to pay. All right, you're getting my most attention, unless there's like another 5 that just need like 1 or 2
100%
things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all are of equal. But if there's 10 that are just like, hey, come over here, come do this, we need help, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, all right, like, slow your roll. At that point, it's like, I'll come to you whenever I have free time, and I won't spread out my schedule for you.
Right.
But I say that now, and I feel like that sounds bad, but it sounds logical at the same time.
It is. That, number one, that falls into a lot of the communication stuff, too, because now that, we're in the season that we're at, and we're, things are coming together with, the business situations that we're in and stuff like that, working with the churches, them coming together. I have now in this season felt like I've had more liberty in the areas that I do versus not. And cause I struggled a lot with that. It's like, hey, we need you to create this content. And I'm like, all right, bet. And then in the midst of me making the content, it's just like, I get sent a whole nother thing of, this is how we want the content, and this is what the structure. I'm like, and then in my head, I'm like, okay, so you don't want me, you want
a product.
Yeah, you just want the product that you see. Versus, since I am a part of this, trusting that, hey, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing.
Yeah,
I'm not only going to produce something that is gonna, be in the exact vision. I'm going to make it look really good, and I'm going to make it excellent, and it's going to be done really well. Just trust me. And so but like I said, that's along the lines of communication too. Cause it's like, if they are trusting you with the project and they're trusting you with that, and that's communication is something that I used to, and I still do struggle with, but I used to struggle with very badly. I used to work on a project, and you wouldn't hear from me till the project's done and due dates here.
That's so bad.
Yeah. And so I understood, like, okay, you can't trust me because you don't know what the heck's going on throughout the process. I thought a pedophile.
A what?
A panel.
Oh, they said a pedophile. What are you talking about?
But no. So yeah, the communication thing for me sucked. And so it was like, hey, if I can get the communication part down to where I can communicate with them, then I really feel like they can see where I'm going with it throughout the process. And I really feel like that's allotted me the place that I'm at now, especially functionality wise, because now and you've known every step of the way, what's what, how I'm going to do it, like the process in which it's going to be. And you don't just see this big picture that looks impossible to reach. You see this big picture with the steps walking up towards that big picture, and you're like, okay, that's feasible. You can do that.
Right.
This might be questionable. Let's talk about that when we get there. And so it's like, now we can talk through it versus me saying like, and then, previous years, me working on a project and me getting to a point, deadlines right there, a few days. And then me saying, this ain't gonna work. We got to do something else. We gotta hurry up and come up with something else together.
And then you get a subpar.
Yeah, and then you end up having to settle for, like you said, a subpar like type of production. It's like, shoot, if I would have communicated earlier, someone probably would have been like, hey, this step doesn't work. Let's take this out, and we can still do the same concept and put this right here, switch this up, kind of like what Daniel did with, hey, let's cut this up and do this time wise. And so So yeah, it's a communication thing. It's a trust thing. Trust the people that you have in your corner. If you do not trust them, one thing I really suggest, and this is for those people out there with people on your team that you know have potential, but are not quite there. One thing I suggest for people is to get your people trained. Don't just leave them out to dry. Don't just be like, hey, I see this potential in you.
Oh, yeah.
I see this potential in you.
Yeah,
it's just not there. Yeah, it's just not there. It's not
Yeah.
there. And it's like, all right, I like, and for someone like me, and luckily I didn't fall in that line towards just like the people that I had in my corner were advocates of, everything, schooling and all this other stuff. They backed me in everything that I did or do currently. And so that made it a little bit easier, but I have been in positions where it's just like, you're telling me all this stuff and I desire to be at this place that you're speaking of. I just don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get there. I don't know what to do. I don't know my next steps. And that's crucial. Me knowing my next step. And I don't even know that. And so it's just like, if you're in a position, if you guys are in a position or you're watching this or you are the person on the other end, have that discussion of the people that are over you. But train those people. That's my biggest thing. Like, train those people so that they can be at that level, so that they can know. And if you aren't adequate enough to train them, connect them with someone that is adequate, or let them, case study under. Is that what it's called? Case study? Be a case study? That's not what it's called.
An intern?
Yeah, let them intern. Let them be. Sorry, let them be an intern to somebody that knows what. Yeah, I don't know. Case study. I feel like that's
psychological problems.
I feel like case study is a thing.
Probably it's a thing, but you didn't use it.
Doesn't fit.
I don't think so.
Let them be an intern for someone that does know what they're doing, so that they can get the adequate training. And I'm by no means at any kind of. I mean, the work that I want to produce that I do produce is high level, high quality. There's a lot more that I need to learn, and I'm not at any place, but I am suggesting that for anyone that is in that place, that is the way to go. Don't leave your people out to dry. Don't just tell them the issues and not give a solution for that issue, or at least a journey to the solution.
Unless you don't have a solution, then just say you don't
yeah
have a
literally
solution.
That's what I was about to say. Communicate it. Yeah, if you don't know it, communicate it. Y'all brainstorm together, y'all come together, and that's when the whole relational thing comes in together, because if you're strictly doing a business, that makes it really hard. But I also suggest you don't be just a business head type of person and be relational in your business. That's one thing that I was communicating to you guys in there, is like with my team, outside of who you guys see with my team, we're super relational. Like, now we don't get into any like legally bound type of stuff to where it's just like it's going to put us in a, but we do communicate and we do talk. And I want to know my people. I want to know how you function. I want to know, what makes you upset. I want to know what makes you happy. I want to know what makes you work most comfortably. I want to know all these aspects so that we can seamlessly get the vision of what we're, trying to push out to the people. And so I think all that's key. And so get your people trained, get your people, don't just leave them out to dry.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, honestly, we could, in my opinion, wrap it up here. I feel like everything that encompassed the whole schooling scenario, the education versus the experience, the communication. I mean, is there anything that we could add to that?
To what?
To the conversation. Like, I don't think that there's any questions in my head. Actually, this would be the last one.
Okay, I'll let you pick that for the closing.
Okay. This would be the last one. It is if you are working with that guy, that guy that, if you're below, or if you're working for
if you're
boss,
under somebody,
yeah, and they are neglecting, or you feel like they're neglecting that piece, what do? Do you move on? Do you stick with?
I really feel like I said, I'm nobody, but I really suggest, because I have been in situations like this, working for different companies. I highly suggest, number one, and this is crucial in any area of life, communicating. If you communicate to that person that is over you and that is an effective communication, hopefully you guys can build a plan to where, you know, it'll all work out.
Right.
If you are speaking to that person and they don't hear you, it may be a toxic situation. Luckily, I have not ever been in that type of thing to where it's just like the people I'm working under are so. I say that, but I'm working in. Like, I say that, but it's just, it's tough. That's a tough scenario. I mean, as
a community, we'll work through that answer.
I have been faithful in scenarios in the working environment to where it's just like I should have been loyal in this area, but you know, obviously situations happen, whatever, immaturity, blah, 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 all that. And so, like I said, it's just hard for me. When I used to work in the oil field, when I used to work at Baker Hughes, it was a hard situation for me because their values didn't match up with my values. But that didn't. I wanted to make sure, both me and Nacho wanted to make sure that didn't change us.
And they weren't relational, huh?
They're
just worried about numbers.
It was, what do you call it? Political. So it was just like, if you're in, you're in. And if you're not, we don't mess with you.
And like union jobs, huh?
Yeah. It's just like, I don't function like that. I like everyone is, I'm cool with everybody. Yeah. And so it's like,
my God,
if you're in that situation, like I said, I would suggest communicating. If nothing changes from that, pray. Because I would say quit, but I mean, not everybody's in a situation where they can.
There's definitely going to be some things that are going to limit everybody in their own
for sure
way. And we're not by any means life coaches.
No. We just walk out life, and I can guide you through what I've been through and suggest whatever I suggest. That's all I am.
Yeah, I may be young, but I'm full of piss and vinegar. But hey, I got a little bit of gems, and trust me, they ain't kidney stones. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. I got to give a shout out to Gabriel Jones and Dontre Murphy, Remnant Records, for their first album release.
Vibes.
I would clap that up on the yellow button, but here's gonna be yes sir. Hey, everybody calm down. Okay, just yep.
There we go. Sorry.
The crowd, we shut the gate on them, so they stopped talking. Anyways, this is going to be the song from their album Embrace.
We out of here.
Yeah. You already know what it is. I ain't going nowhere.
One time for the ones that kept it pushing. 2 times if you embracing the moment. 3 times for the ones that know how to be patient. Living in the moment, always being there for ya. 1 time for the ones that kept it pushing. 2 times if you embracing the movement. 3 times for the ones that know how to be patient. Living in the moment, always being grateful, yeah.
Accept my wrongs and all my rights. Things got better when I kept that fight.